In the dying embers of 1960s London, two struggling actors share a crumbling flat, a fondness for the bottle, and a friendship built upon dreams and rebellion. This is the story of an escape, a last desperate holiday taken when there's nowhere else to go. I saw this film alone in a small art house cinema in Vancouver in 1987. It found me at exactly the right time, hit hard, and made me laugh in a way that only the Brits can. A farewell to youth and innocence soaked in rain and cheap wine. The film has been a companion to me over the years, an old friend you can't wait to introduce to your new ones. That's why now I'm sharing it with my partner Jordan as we start our journey together, talking about and exploring cinema here. No! Welcome to the Cinema Sandbox. This is Withnail and I.
Chin chin. To a delightful weekend in the country.
I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chump some of this shit.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Oh, what's in the box?
Welcome to the Cinema Sandbox. I'm Kristopher G.
I'm Jordan Sherwood. Thank you for coming on today.
Hey, stop! Stop! Are you the farmer?
Shut up! I'll deal with this.
We've gone on holiday by mistake.
Have you ever been on holiday by mistake?
I don't think so. I'm usually pretty intentional about going on holiday, but maybe. As a teenager, it hit pretty hard for me, just as kind of one of those rites of passage films, covering a lot of themes about loss of innocence, and it has since gone on to be kind of a cult film. I don't know so much about in the United States.
13 million Londoners have to wake up to this.
I think I mentioned the reason I saw this film in the first place was that at the time I was really interested in illustration and different cartoonists and illustrators, and I kind of fell in love with the work of Ralph Steadman, who ended up doing the poster. Most people were familiar with Ralph Steadman because of his work with Hunter S. Thompson. They were paired together as writer and illustrator and cartoonist, and he would do a lot of the cartoons for Rolling Stone magazine when Hunter S. Thompson would do articles for them, like on campaign trails or, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas was one of the...
Which that's so funny because there was the reviewer that drew the connection between, they said this is like the English version of Fear and Loathing.
I loved the poster. I was like, well, what kind of movie would Ralph Steadman do a poster for? So I immediately went out and saw it, and I loved it. And then like the next week, I invited my best friend at the time. I was like, hey, you got to come see this movie with me. This is just an amazingly funny movie. Dragged him to see it. He loved it. So I think it's the kind of film that you do that with. Like, you got to see this movie. It's kind of a bit of a stoner film, a hangout film in a way. Did you have a film like that for yourself around 16, 17 that just really spoke to you?
I really wish I could remember why it hit me this way, but Garden State came out when I was around that age. And I don't remember why it made me feel this way, but I came out of that just so mad at my parents, and I was so difficult to deal with.
There's a rebellious spirit to the film.
It awakened that in me big time.
Similarly with this, there's a spirit of rebellion here.
Yeah.
We've got to get some booze. It's the only solution to this intense cold.
When I was looking into how it was received, I saw that the people who it did resonate with, it resonated with deeply. It's something they watch over and over again. They can quote.
Cake and fine wine.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
These are people who are already adults. It's more of like growing from your 20s to your 30s.
Written and directed by Bruce Robinson, who started interestingly as a youngster in the British acting scene, did some kind of high-profile movies. I think he was in, was it Romeo and Juliet, one of the Franco Zeffirelli historical pieces. Then went on to become a writer in 1983 or 84, was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for the film The Killing Fields, which we'll look at a little bit later. I think that gave him the clout to be able to write and direct this film. It's sort of loosely and maybe kind of emotionally based on Bruce Robinson's own experiences being a struggling actor in the late 60s in the UK.
My thumbs have gone weird.
And having a friend who he lived with, a roommate, who was sort of free-spirited, a little bit of a, how would you describe him? Played by Richard E. Grant.
We can't go on like this. I'm a trained actor reduced to the state of a bum.
He's a mess. To say he's a mess is to put it lightly. Their entire flat is a mess.
Sinew and nicotine base. Keep back, keep back. What is it?
We've all had our moments where we leave, too many dishes in the sink. But when it gets to the point where it's spilling out over the countertops and there's things living underneath, that's kind of the stage that this was at.
So we have nothing. Sit down. Liar. You've got antifreeze. Bloody fool. You should never mix your drinks.
Smoking, drinking, drug use, general tomfoolery and ne'er-do-wellery. Is that a word? I just made up a new word, I think. We see it through the eyes of Marwood, though, the eye of the film. He's more of the quiet, sensitive type. A lot of the film is just moments of him reflecting.
Time change. You lose, you gain. Makes no difference so long as you keep taking the pills.
Richard E. Grant, who of course has gone on to do many, many films here in the US as well as abroad.
I got myself a new goal. Wild domination!
Paul McGann, he was in Alien 3, interestingly. I think he played Doctor Who for a bit, too.
There she is.
Police box?
And then rounding out the main cast are Richard Griffiths.
There is, you will agree, a certain je ne sais quoi, so very special about a firm young carrot.
We have Ralph Brown, who plays Danny the drug dealer.
Phenodihydrochloride benzoex.
Who is just a guy who comes in and sells him stuff from time to time, but that Withnail has a kind of a love-hate relationship with.
You can stuff it up your arse for nothing and fuck off while you're doing it.
He was in Wayne's World.
And there I am in Sri Lanka, formerly Ceylon, at 3 o'clock in the morning, looking for 1,000 brown M&Ms to fill a brandy glass, or Ozzy wouldn't go on stage that night.
So he actually called Bruce Robinson up, apparently, and asked him, I want to do Danny basically again. Is it okay with you? And Bruce Robinson says, Danny is yours.
But the shop owner and his son, that's a different story altogether. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes.
This is a George Harrison film. Handmade Films.
It was a company that George Harrison formed. He really liked to support homegrown filmmakers. He produced some of the early Monty Python films.
Oh, wow.
This is the life of Brian.
And one of the reasons why the 80s was an amazing period in British filmmaking, there was this boom, I guess, in the British film industry with these unusual films that we just don't see today anymore. They're just too oddball. A lot of these films would not have gotten made were it not for Mr. Beetle.
What should we do?
It has an 87 Metascore. That is just by critics alone. Users on Metacritic give it a 7.2. It has a 4.0 on Letterboxd and a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. One user says it's another great Richard E. Grant performance. While I'm not the greatest homemaker, that kitchen scared the shit out of me.
I called him a ponce.
And another user said a lot of the Britishness was lost in translation.
And now I'm calling you one. Ponce!
The f*** he just say?
Ponce.
He was a man between.
I, growing up in Canada, got a lot of British content. Monty Python was just always on TV. Shows like On the Buses.
Look at all that stuffing coming out there.
So the British sound, the British idioms, the slang is pretty familiar to me. I don't struggle too much, but watching it with you is interesting because you're from small town Texas.
I was already kind of lost, and I feel like if I wasn't watching it alongside you to explain some of the things to me, I would have been even more lost.
Because the language is so important to this film, right?
Yeah.
So the film opens with a King Curtis version of A Whiter Shade of Pale, a camera roving through this dilapidated apartment, setting up our character Marwood, played by Paul McGann.
Do you want a cup of tea, Withnail?
These moments of him being alone are very important in the film.
The purveyor of rare herbs and prescribed chemicals is back.
Hello?
So Danny comes around.
You're looking very beautiful, man.
He's always just selling weed and pills and like LSD and acid. I don't know what else he's got. He's got the little baby doll. So they've kind of reached their wits' end. They're kind of broke. They're out of work. They have nothing else to do. Marwood just wants to get out of the city.
Get into the countryside, rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate.
He suggests Withnail hit up his wealthy uncle to borrow his cottage in the countryside.
Oh, hello.
Like, you can tell that he's wealthy. You can tell that he has things.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that his house is bigger and nicer, but it still felt grimy.
Alas, I have little more than vintage wine and memories.
Monty is extravagantly homosexual.
It is the most shattering experience of a young man's life when one morning he awakes and quite reasonably says to himself, I will never play the Dane.
Would have been highly closeted, but everyone would have known because he's a bachelor, you know, and later on the farmer says, oh yeah, I remember him.
London type, queer sort. Last time I saw him, he were with his son.
Yeah, that's him.
Bruce Robinson talks about his character in this way, that he's of an age grown up in some of the, most oppressive times for gay people in the UK. Much like here for a long time was considered an aberrant psychological disorder. You could go to prison. But Monty's kind of having some issues with his cat.
Get the damn little swine out of here!
I don't know if there's a little
yeah,
entendre going because he's gay and he's getting mad at the pussy. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's in there. Read it as you will.
They don't act like that unless they feel like they have a reason to.
You beastly little parasite! How dare you! You little funk!
They finally persuade Monty to give them the key to the cottage. So the next morning they head out, driving out of the city. So here we have this sense of motion out of the city, out of the mire that they're stuck in, to have this vacation. Then they arrive at the cottage at night in a rainstorm. Pouring rain, and there's no fire, and it's just really cold and damp.
Rain on screen in this way just kind of emotes.
Yeah.
This place is uninhabitable. Give it a chance. It's got to warm up. Warm up. We might as well sit round a cigarette.
The next morning, there's a wonderful sequence with Marwood gets up early and kind of just goes for a little bit of a walk. There's no firewood, there's no food, there's no provisions of any kind. So Marwood's going around trying to get stuff.
What do you want? I wondered if you could sell us some food. What about wood and coal? I'm not from London, you know. I don't care where you come from.
She doesn't like him at all immediately, just because he's kind of dressed. He's got that leather coat on and his hair is long and everything. They finally bump into the farmer.
Yeah. Are you the farmer?
Stop saying that, Withnail! Of course he's the fucking farmer!
And he agrees to bring him some stuff.
There's the supper. What are you supposed to do with that? Eat it. Eat it? Fucker's alive. Yeah, I know that. You gotta kill it.
Would you know what to do with a live chicken?
I haven't killed chickens, but I have been involved in the killing of chickens and on a farm where my uncle would snap their necks or chop their heads off, and then I would pull the feathers out. So, headless
So
chicken.
you at least knew to pull the feathers out.
Shouldn't be more bald than that.
Shouldn't there be more bald than that?
So that night they go to this little local pub and they bump into this guy who's a poacher. He's literally got eels in his pants.
Totally normal thing to encounter.
Excuse me, we were wondering if we could purchase a pheasant off of you.
I've got nothing to sell.
Oh, come on, old boy. What's in your hump?
If I hear more words out of you, I'll put one of these here black pods on you.
Don't threaten me with a dead fish.
They're so desperate. He's trying to get fish in this little stream with a shotgun.
There's two of them here, look. Come on, come on, come on.
Again, this is a great character moment because that's exactly what Withnail would do. He has to do something dramatic. He can't get a little net or something. He's got to like fucking get a double-barreled shotgun trying to blow the fish up. And then what would be left of a fish anyway if you shot it with a shotgun? It would be just like pieces. And later on, they see this guy prowling around.
It's him. What does he want? You better get down there and ask him. Don't be a fool. He's got a gun. Bastard psychotic.
But there's one scene where they do encounter the farmer, and what happened to your leg? The farmer's got a gammy leg.
What happened to your leg?
Got a randy bull up there.
And they encounter this randy bull later, and this is like an important moment because it really underscores the cowardice of Withnail.
Shut that gate! Shut that gate!
He didn't shut the gate.
Stop that bull! Stop that bull!
Immediately, Withnail hops over the stone fence and hides and then watches to see what happens.
Not only does he hide and watch, he lights a cigarette.
Wants to get down there and have sex with those cows.
Shut up, Withnail. Run at it, shouting!
Do as he says. Start shouting.
It's a funny thing here, but it kind of, later we'll see that part of his character kind of becomes a little bit tragic in a way, a little bit sad. That night they're in bed, they hear noises outside. They think it's the eel pants guy.
He wants to come in. He's trying to get in.
The light's coming down the hall and hears the footsteps. Richard E. Grant likes pulling the covers up over his head. It turns out to be Monty.
What are you doing, prowling around in the middle of the fucking night?
I had a punctured tire. I had to wait an aeon for assistance.
Monty has come up to the country to meet the gents. He's brought wine, he's brought supplies, he's making some, what did he keep saying?
Garlic, rosemary, and salt. I can never touch meat until it's cooked. As a youth, I used to weep in butcher shops.
But it soon becomes apparent that Monty is there under the impression that Marwood is available for a sexual encounter with Monty as a condition of them getting the cottage. He's the price of admission and has been sold out, we find out later, by Withnail.
Sorry.
Would he not have offered time at the cottage had that not been...
To me, Withnail being a little son of a bitch. He's like, what is the easiest way to...
Offering it just to make sure that it does happen.
Right. And of course, he's not going to offer himself because he's his nephew. I mean, I'm not sure at that point
how they roll in England.
There can be no true beauty without decay.
Monty notices that the guys don't have rubber boots. And so their shoes are all muddy and whatnot. So he says, oh, let's go into town and we'll get you some rubbers.
I don't like the country. I don't like the way he's behaving in the country. I don't like the way the people walk around pulling eels in and out of their pants.
You'd get used to it.
This is why I left the country, came to Los Angeles.
Marwood and Withnail just basically say, F the rubber boots, let's just go get drunk.
I'll see you over there in half an hour.
So they go
to that tea shop.
All right here?
What do you want?
Cake. All right here?
No, we're closing.
One of the, I think, most oft-quoted scenes in the film is this scene where they go into this very proper English tea house.
You're drunk. Just bring out the cake. Cake and fine wine.
If you don't leave, we'll call the police.
Balls. We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
They're causing a scene intentionally.
If it was teenagers doing something like that, you would at least be like, okay, teenagers. These guys are a little old for this.
So the establishment does end up calling the police, and just in time, Monty pulls up in the Rolls Royce.
Our car's arrived. We'll be back. We're coming back in here.
I feel like that scene would fit right in with like Palm Springs. A couple twinks like just going crazy somewhere, and then their sugar daddy comes and picks them up in a Rolls Royce.
Right, yeah.
Surrounded by trees and nature, one feels a glorious stirring of the senses.
What I always liked about, despite Monty's, flaws, how the house completely changes when he comes, because it's cold and wet and rainy and there's nothing in it. And when he's there, there's candles and there's fine wine and he's made a wonderful dinner. It is cozy.
He's a host.
And it's over to you.
Your turn.
There's this code between Withnail and Monty at that point. They're making fun of, like, he pulls the queen card out.
There she is.
They have their little in-jokes and, like, queer-coded in-jokes.
Marwood is, like, still really shaken up by this whole situation, and you're acting like you're cool, and now you're ganging up on me. Just completely switched on me. I've been in situations where friends have made me feel that way.
I'll say goodnight then, Monty.
You already have.
Marwood can kind of see what's happened. His out is maybe, okay, I'll go put him to bed. So when he goes upstairs to do that, Monty somehow gets up the stairs just as fast. Damn, he ran up those stairs. How is he not out of breath?
Quietly, dude.
Oh my God.
You've been avoiding my eyes, haven't you?
It's terrifying the whole way through. Like,
it is terrifying.
You're calling him like a Terminator.
He is. He can't be stopped.
I mean to have you, even if it must be burglary.
In the script, he was supposed to open his robe and a shot of him fully frontal nude. Richard Griffiths did not want to do this, but it was in the script. Richard Griffiths said to Bruce Robinson, the director, I know what to do. You shoot it from behind me, and I will corner Marwood into the corner of the room, and you're still behind me, and I will just open the robe, and you focus on Marwood's face. His face will tell you everything you need to know about what he's seeing, and you don't have to show it.
He lied to you.
When he tells him his lie, he says, oh, I'm actually with Withnail.
We're both in it. We're obsessed with each other. But he's ashamed. He refuses to come out and accept what he is. That's why he's rejecting me while you're here.
Oh, my dear boy. If I'd known that, I would never have attempted to come between you.
Marwood goes to confront Withnail. Like, what the f?
Wake up, you bastard, or I burn this bastard bed down.
I deny all accusations.
How dare you tell him I'm a toilet trader?
It was a tactical necessity. If I hadn't told him you were active, we'd never have got the cottage.
I never have wanted it, not with him in it.
Withnail is still drunk. He thinks that's a joke.
Well, you're fine, so it's fine.
Yeah, but also it was more important to him to get booze and get what he wanted. Again, like a child, to have his needs met.
Also like an addict.
Yeah.
That's what comes first.
Marwood's starting to find out really who Withnail is. And also who he is.
Hello, Grant.
We find out early in the third act that Marwood gets the part. You know, it's pretty obvious that seems like he's going to move on.
Well done.
Seems like Withnail it seems pretty apparent that he's going to struggle to get out of this situation in a similar way. Land an audition, move on to stable work. I think he struggles with stability, and it's heartbreaking.
Once Marwood finds out he's been cast in this big acting part, the mood shifts. Guys get back to their flat in Camden Town, and while Marwood is preparing to depart for his new job, Withnail falls back into his regular habits. He's getting super high with Danny and his friend named Presuming Ed, played by Eddie Tago, who some of you might recognize from films such as Raiders of the Lost Ark and Top Secret.
For God, will you shut up, for God's sake?
But something's really changed for Marwood here. He's stepped into a new phase of life, and Now Withnail's usual antics seem to be more annoying and more extreme than ever. And it's not just the new gig, it was everything that happened on that trip. It changed Marwood. The party, as well as the 60s, everything, it's all over.
Stop laughing, Withnail, this is serious.
No, it ain't. I looked into it.
So Withnail wants one last drink with Marwood before he sets off, but Marwood already has one foot out the door. One wonders now if the friendship will even survive, or is this the end?
53 Margot. Best of the century. I'm sure he wouldn't resent us parting drink.
Oh, I can't, Withnail. I've got to walk to the station. I'll be late.
There's always time for a drink.
I don't have the time.
On his way out, Marwood leaves Withnail just standing there in the rain in front of the wolf enclosure at Regent's Park.
I shall miss you, Withnail.
I shall miss you too. Chin chin.
Let's talk about our favorite sequences.
There was a really wide shot of them walking through a field.
Laissez-moi respirer.
And in the foreground, there's just this kind of like twisted old like tree or tree branch. No, I thought that was a really pretty shot. That really stood out to me.
The end scene, I mean, I don't even know what it means, but it's just so poignant.
What a piece of work is a man.
I guess it's the caged wolves. It's a sense of the wild. Withnail is the wolves. He's wild, he's untamed.
He's kind of reciting that Hamlet to them.
Like that's the audience, but it's just like he's sort of this rogue. He's not really meant for normal life. But he, like the wolves, is kind of caged in. It seems like he's in his own prison of some kind, whereas Marwood is leaving. Really powerful ending for me just at that time of my life.
When you're in those situations and you're aware that people move on from these things,
right.
You sometimes might fool yourself into thinking, oh, we're gonna stay connected, we're gonna stay friends forever, and
it doesn't always happen. This is on some of the major streaming services. There are several versions of it available on physical media, and there is a Criterion release.
That one has subtitles for those like me who need some help with some of the Britishisms.
In a country shattered by war.
U.S. bombs, you sure? I think many died. I don't know.
And torn by revolution.
A true story about two journalists working in Cambodia during the ascendancy of the Khmer Rouge and the subsequent genocide that happened there. And Bruce Robinson was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. The book is called The Death and Life of Dith Prawn by Sidney Shanberg.
After what the Khmer Rouge...
Also has a little bit part by Spalding Gray. His monologue, Swimming to Cambodia, is about his experiences on this.
I was wondering that.
Minutes he told me about the story of the film. It was about a New York Times reporter, Sidney Shanberg, who was covering the Americans' secret bombing of Cambodia for the New York Times, and his sidekick, Dith Prawn, a Cambodian photographer.
Man delights not me. No women neither.
Overall, though, like it's touching. It made me think of similar times in my life. Thankfully, nowhere near as dark or disgusting or grimy. I've had people like this in my life, but this is definitely
an extreme.
Extreme.
And it's played up for laughs, obviously.
Of course,
you got to make it entertaining. I often say I don't like movies just for the plot. In fact, plot sometimes, once you know what the plot is, who cares? Movies to me are environments that I like to enter, even though it's grimy and even though it's uncomfortable. I like being in this world. Yeah, but I like being in that world with those characters, visiting it for a while and feeling like, I've been transported into a different era. And this does it, I think, really well and in an interesting era, a time of transition.
Hang out the stars in Indiana, up in a sky of midnight blue. Hang out the stars in Indiana to light my way back home to you. Have every robin sing a love song, a melody just meant for two. For in my heart there'll be a love song.
I'm gonna be a
If you, like us, love your content produced by real, actual, live human beings.
Me and him.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button.
Help us get the word out. Thank you for joining us in the Cinema Sandbox. We'll catch you next time.
Adios.